Over the past couple of LCS off-seasons, there's been an active trade and buyout market involving Cloud9, to the point that C9 are sometimes accused of caring more about profiting off of player sales than they do about winning. That's a ridiculous claim when you consider how much money they've spent to bring in players like Perkz and Vulcan, but hey, that's social media for you. Regardless of their motivations, it's clear that C9 have done good business on selling players' contracts. In fact, if you look through their player sales from the past 2 off-seasons, I don't think C9 would regret a single one. Let's first look at the trade between Cloud9 and Golden Guardians in November 2019. GG shipped out Palafox to bring in GOLDENGLUE as their new starting LCS mid laner. We'll talk more about Palafox later, but the quick overview of the GOLDENGLUE acquisition is that he only lasted 1 split with GG before being replaced by Damonte, who had been available in the offseason. So trading away an academy player ended up being effectively a wasted asset. The next deal up for evaluation was much bigger. During the same offseason, Evil Geniuses were re-entering the league after buying an LCS franchise, and they hit the ground running by picking up a 4-player package from Cloud9 that featured 2 LCS starters, SVENSKEREN and Zeyzal, as well as Kumo and Deftly from C9 Academy. They added Bang and Jizuke as free agents, and on paper it looked like they had built a pretty solid team that might even be able to contend for a spot at Worlds. SVENSKEREN was the centerpiece of the deal. He had just won the regular season MVP for summer 2019 and was part of the Cloud9 core that reached the semifinals of the World Championships the year before. Adding the reigning MVP to your roster seems like a no-brainer, but SVENSKEREN's jungle dominance didn't extend into his tenure on EG. The team finished 3rd in the spring playoffs, but failed to qualify for Worlds that summer. SVENSKEREN has appeared on only 1 All-Pro vote in the 3 full splits he's played for EG, and that was the same voter that put Jose Dioto as the first-team jungler, so it doesn't really count. This split, EG are finally looking like a contending team again, and SVENSKEREN's improvements have been part of the story, but EG have also been trying out CONTRACTZ in the jungle, and in his 3 games, all wins, CONTRACTZ has statistically outperformed SVENSKEREN. All in all, when EG acquired SVENSKEREN as the reigning MVP, you have to think they expected a lot more than what they've received over the past 2 years. Zeyzal was also a pretty big get for EG. He was a 2nd-team All-Pro in spring 2019 and 3rd-team in summer, but he only lasted 1 year on his new team with no All-Pro appearances, and when he became a free agent at the end of 2020, he wasn't able to find a place with another LCS org. With a short tenure and weak results, you can't characterize Zeyzal's time on EG as a success. Kumo came to EG with modest expectations after filling in for Licorice for 4 games and generating some buzz, but in the 2020 spring split, despite EG having a good win rate, Kumo had the lowest kill participation and the worst laning stats of any top laner in the league. 10 games into summer, EG were willing to bench Jizuke to free up an import slot so they could bring in Huni and send Kumo down to Academy. Then they let Kumo go to free agency at the end of the year. Deftly was also part of EG's deal with C9, but a minor one. He spent a year with EG Academy, then got a shot in the LCS lineup for spring 2021 when EG's other roster plans fell through. Things didn't work out very well, to the extent that EG took a huge risk and promoted a 17-year-old with 0 Academy experience for the summer split instead, which has proven to be a massive upgrade so far. You could call the Deftly deal a win since it at least gave EG an option for spring, but that's stretching the definition a little. So from the entire 4-player mega purchase, EG didn't really benefit much at all unless you think it was worth spending that much money to get a 3rd place finish in spring and otherwise stay out of the LCS basement. I'm not convinced. 1 year later, FlyQuest did their best EG impression and picked up a 3-player package from Cloud9 headlined by Licorice, with Palafox and Diamond also joining from C9 Academy. Licorice was the 2nd biggest player sale on this overall list after the SVENSKEREN move, and the gap between expectations and outcomes is arguably even bigger. Licorice wasn't an MVP level player, but he was still seen as one of the best in his position. He had been a first-team All-Pro for 3 of the previous 4 splits, and FlyQuest hoped he would develop into a leader for their inexperienced squad. But over the course of a split and a half with FlyQuest, Licorice never really found his footing. He was posting a 1.2 KDA over 14 games this summer when Fly sold him onwards to Golden Guardians, and community perception had gotten so bad at that point that many fans thought GG were downgrading by replacing Solo. Playing with Golden Guardians, Licorice has looked closer to his old self, but the acquisition was a competitive failure for FlyQuest. I say competitive failure because Fly received what has been described to me as a sizable buyout for Licorice from Golden Guardians to recoup their investment, so really the main thing they lost was time. Regarding the other pieces of the deal, Palafox had spent a year with Cloud9 and had rounded into the best mid laner in Academy. Diamond was in a similar position. He had put in 2 years with C9 and looked like a top 2 Academy support. On the surface, Palafox and Diamond might look like disappointments so far, since they've both been up and down between the LCS and Academy rosters. But there have been good signs from each of them at different times during this rookie year, so the jury's still out. If FlyQuest let either of those players go this coming offseason, it'll be safe to say the moves were a failure. But if they continue to work with them going into 2022, there's still reason to hope that they'll pay off in the long term. When we take stock of all the players Cloud9 has sold in the past few years, you can't clearly say that any have made a big positive difference for their teams. SVENSKEREN is still competing for EG, and Palafox and Diamond might get there, but C9 have done good business on selling their players at a high point in their value. So far, paying buyouts to Cloud9 has been an ineffective strategy for multiple teams. Instead of paying these buyouts, more LCS orgs should be trying to produce the next Blabber or Fudge internally, instead of waiting for a team like Cloud9 to have their next in-house replacement ready so they can sell at a premium.
Thanks so much for watching that interview or piece of content. I don't know. These go on different things. Anyway, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's subscribed. That's rolling across the bottom here. If you subscribe, it actually does really help me out. And you know what else helps me out? When you go to alienware.com/Travis and check out some of the great deals they have over there. Maybe sign up for Alienware Arena because that also helps me out. You can get some cool stuff going on there. And I need your help. Please, just help me. I'm begging. I've needed a lot of help for a while. Subscribe.